How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jackson Harvey with Harvey's Huddle. It's been quite a while. I gotta apologize for that. I, of course, am a university student, so this semester has been particularly difficult to work around in a schedule, but everything's winding down, so I have time to make some more content for you. Luckily, we are in the off-season, so there's a lot going on in the NFL, but there's not too much where, you need me to hear from me every week. We got a lot of draft stuff going on, a lot of free agency stuff, and I just want to talk about a few of the highlights. I got a couple of good, I guess you could say, moves that happened in the last few weeks since my last episode, as well as some draft thoughts. Hit me up on Instagram at Harvey's Huddle, on Twitter at Harvey_Huddle. We're on YouTube as well. Channel name is Harvey's Huddle. Let me know what you think about a live show. I'm going to post something probably on maybe Monday or Tuesday. That's April 12th or 13th. Just seeing what your thoughts are about maybe a live show going on YouTube. I have my draft board that I've been working on, and just want to see if you'd like me to maybe reveal it through a live show, or if you just want a regular old podcast. If you can't make a live show, I'm going to make it into a podcast anyways, but let me know what you think. I'm going to have that, like I said, up either the 12th or the 13th. Let's get talking, though. Let's talk about some Juju SmithSchuster. Now, if you have listened to me, especially during this last 2020 season, I was not terribly high on the guy. I didn't like some of his antics going on. I didn't like his attitude that was portrayed to us. But I really have, and I really did like him early in his career. I was really rooting for him when he was alongside, Antonio Brown. He really had a great rookie season. But I think it's a good signing for Pittsburgh, but I really think that SmithSchuster would have thrived with Kansas City or even Baltimore. I really think those two locations would have been better for him. You look at Pittsburgh and you've got a team that hasn't addressed the running game yet, I feel, which was atrocious during last season. You also have Big Ben. I know a lot of people, and even Pittsburgh Steelers fans, might say, yes, we have our leader back, we have our quarterback here for another season. The guy is not Superman. He can't save this team. He is old, and he might be younger than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady also doesn't have a surgically repaired elbow that looked iffy at times last season. And especially if you have to throw the ball 40 to 50 times a game again this next season, I don't know if Pittsburgh can rely on that and make a good season, a good run at a title. I don't think that they can realistically do that. So, do I like the move for Pittsburgh? Yes. I think it's good. You have one of your better players back. Do I like the move for Juju SmithSchuster? No. Imagine Juju lining up in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. You have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. That would have filled the void that Sammy Watkins left when he went and signed with Baltimore. And I think Juju would have done wonders in Kansas City. Let's talk about Sam Darnold. Now, I really like Sam Darnold. I don't think there's a lot of NFL fans out there that like him. But I think he is a really good quarterback. I think he's solid at what he does, and I think that he has shown flashes of being a pretty good quarterback. Now, those flashes have been overshadowed by the fact that the Jets are the Jets and that Adam Gase was their head coach. I mean, you had a lot of issues there in New York that didn't have a lot to do with Sam Darnold. I mean, the guy couldn't pay enough for a pass block. The guy couldn't do anything. His receivers left. Robbie Anderson left to Carolina. Well, Sam Darnold going to Carolina is going to be one of the best moves that happens in this offseason. I'm talking overall. Drafts, trades, free agent signings. Sam Darnold is going to have the best upside that this NFL offseason is going to see. And here's why. Robbie Anderson, I just said that. He's in Carolina, who, when Anderson was with Darnold and the Jets, they had amazing success. They did a good job in New York. I mean, granted, they were still the Jets, but they had a good chemistry going. And Anderson was someone that you really had to look out for if you're the opposing team trying to game plan. Now, not only did they have Anderson, or do they have Anderson, you got Christian McCaffrey, arguably one of the best running backs in the game of football right now. Christian McCaffrey, although he was injured for a lot of last season, well, not a lot of it, just the part that mattered to my fantasy turnout. Christian McCaffrey is a huge upside when you look at Frank Gore. You know, that's going to make a difference. Carolina also has a little bit better of an offensive line than the Jets, and they're in a good spot to maybe pick up a lineman or two, and even a quality lineman with, I believe they have the 8th pick. Not only on the player side, but with Matt Rule and Joe Brady on the coaching staff. I believe that's the head coach and the offense coordinator, respectively. That's a very different vibe. Very different offensive scheme that you're going to be able to work with that wasn't prevalent in the Jets organization. So I am even bold enough to say that this move, it might not be this next season. Actually, I'll say it is this next season. I think that this move will instill Sam Darnold into the top 10 quarterback conversation in the NFL this next season. And I think it's going to work wonders for the Panthers offense. And if their defense can hold up and put together a quality season, they're going to be making the playoffs. And I really fully believe that Sam Darnold at the helm, you're going to be able to make that happen. Now let's talk about the draft. We've got a lot that's happened in the last couple of weeks with the trading situations and the dust settling from that, but we have got quite an interesting draft board that's here. Of course, the number one pick isn't very interesting. You got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, Clemson quarterback, but he looked good on his pro day. He's throwing now after some shoulder injury and surgery that he underwent right after his pro day. And of course, Jaguars coach Urban Meyer has said that it looks like they're going to go with Trevor Lawrence with the number one pick. I like that. I mean, I'm a Jaguars fan. I've been a Jaguars fan for a while. I kind of like Zach Wilson as a quarterback. I like his style. I like his leadership. I'm kind of nervous about Lawrence, just seeing him play in the latter part of his college football career, but I think he's gonna do just fine. I think if we draft Lawrence, I think Urban Meyer will be able to give him the leadership. Hopefully Gardner Minshew will be able to give him a few pointers, and I think that having Lawrence there might even stretch Minshew enough. You're going to see a really good quarterback competition out of that spring camp or summer camp, the training camp. You're going to see a really good quarterback competition in Jacksonville. Let's talk Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a quarterback. Mac Jones is a quarterback coming out of Alabama. And Alabama quarterbacks don't have the greatest recent history in the National Football League. I watched a bit of his pro day, not all of it, but I did not see a lot of great throws from him. He didn't look amazing, and he played well during the college football season, but I didn't see a lot out of his pro day. So I think just from his play during the season, you're going to see him probably be a top 10 pick. His leadership skills seem to be pretty good. You're out of Alabama, so the quarterback in Alabama is usually quite proficient with leading a team in a huddle. I really think he could fit well in New England. A lot of people are saying that New England could make a move for Justin Fields at quarterback. However, I get kind of a Tom Brady vibe from Mac Jones, just in body structure and kind of his overall demeanor. So I could see New England going with Mac Jones. However, it looks like San Francisco is looking for a quarterback. They traded up to the 3rd overall pick for a reason, and I'm not sure if they're going to try to snag a Justin Fields or a Mac Jones, but if it's Mac Jones, then he could fit well in that Kyle Shanahan offense. So we'll see what happens there. Zach Wilson, I mentioned him once already, but he has done some good stuff in the last few weeks, especially with his pro day. This guy looked fantastic, and I think a lot of people see Zach Wilson right now as being overhyped. There's a lot of buzz about him on the media, but I really think, well, I was leaning that way a little bit. I was kind of getting tired of hearing some Zach Wilson bold predictions, but then that pro day happened, and he made some throws that looked fantastic. He looked sharp, and I think that's a really good way to explain Zach Wilson is sharp. He has some great leadership skills, some great poise under pressure, and I think that he has some great heart in him. I saw a lot of heart, a lot of determination during his season with BYU, especially when the going went tough, and that's what you want to see. Now, BYU did not play the greatest of teams during the season. I think that's a lot of the criticisms that I'm hearing about the Zach Wilson hype train. But I think that despite there being an insane amount of quality, quote-unquote, competition during this last season, which was very messed up because of COVID, I think even if you saw someone doing that against a bad team, you're going to say, hey, that's a good football player. That's a quarterback I want on my team. And I think the Jets if they pass up on him, they would be out of their mind to go with anyone other than Zach Wilson. Well, there you have it. We only talked about 3 quarterbacks right now. I haven't taken a super in-depth look at the draft board yet, but I will be in the next few weeks. And like I said at the top of the show, just let me know if you are interested in kind of a live reveal of what I think the draft board will look like. Let me know on Instagram at Harvey's Huddle, on Twitter at Harvey_Huddle, or on YouTube. Harvey's Huddle is the channel name. Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully I can get you some more content in the next few weeks once school is over. I'm Jackson Harvey. This has been Harvey's Huddle. Take care.